Hi everyone. I hope you guys are good. So this week I've decided to make this video about gender-based violence against women and children. It's mainly against women and girls because this is the time when most of the world celebrates or acknowledges or goes through the period known as the 16 days of activism against gender based violence. So the 16 days are from the 25th of November to the 10th of December. And basically, it's to highlight how devastating it is and how the impact that gender-based violence has had on our society and basically how bad it actually is. I don't know if most of you saw a post that I put on that was showing the statistics that were released by the UN, where they did research based on homicides or murders that were committed in 2017. They took all the cases from all over the world, as many as they could get, and they did their research. And out of their research, they found about 87,000 women were killed in 2017. I'm sure there were more, but that's just the amount they could get. 87,000 women were killed in 2017, just in general. Out of those 87,000, they found that about 50,000 were killed at the hands of a partner or a family member. So that was about almost 58%. So more than half of the women that were killed last year, according to their records, the records that they could find, were killed at the hands of a partner or a family member. So basically, what it means is it's more dangerous for a woman to be at home than it is outside. A woman should be more scared in their home than they should be outside with strangers. And that is very scary. They boiled it down to it's about 137 murders a day across the world. So about 137 women are killed a day by a family member or a partner. So you can just let that sink in. That's very, like, some of you can be like, okay, but it's just up over half. That's not a big deal. But the thing is, even when you compare to the males, when it comes to, with the males, they have a much less percentage of murders at the hands of a partner of a family member, much less compared to women. And the worst one that really came or drove home to me is the fact that out of all those statistics, Africa had the highest rate of women that are killed at the hands of a family member or a partner. So whereas, like they said, in about 100,000, like in Africa, about 3.1 per 100,000 are killed at the hands of a family member or a partner. And the second highest was the Americas, the continents there, and they were at 1.6. So Africa is already double the amount of the next country that comes, the next continent that comes after us. And that is very heartbreaking. It's very scary because that is the reality of where we are, because we are still a very patriarchal society. So a lot of the males still have a sense of entitlement and ownership when it comes to the girl child, when it comes to women, when it comes to the wife. I'm not talking about all men in general, but we cannot not address it as specific to women. We have to address it because that's what the statistics are telling us. There's a lot of great guys out there. There's a lot of awesome men that are doing great things, that treat their daughters and wives and family members like jewels. And that's great. But the statistics are showing us that there's still more that are abusing women and killing women and young girls. And I wanted to make this video to raise awareness, because probably one of the reasons why the statistics are highest in Africa is the patriarchal society, and a lot of people are still they are uneducated. They live out there where they don't understand that they've got rights. They don't have resources where they can reach out, or they are not aware of resources where they can reach out and get help. And they're still in societies, rural societies and villages, that still say that when you're married, the husband has a right to discipline you and beat you, same as if you're a girl child. But at the same time, there are women, all of us know, there are women that are educated, that know all of these things, and are still in abusive relationships. I recently read a very heartbreaking story that just happened recently in my home country in Zimbabwe, where a young lawyer was murdered at the hands of her boyfriend. She's educated, she's a young lawyer, and she was killed by her boyfriend. And it's very heartbreaking, and we need to take this thing seriously. And I figured, since I talk about relationships and I talk about marriage, I just need to add my 2 cents, because I know we all know someone that is most likely getting abused, or we are getting abused. And the bottom line is, ladies, if you are in a situation where a man has pushed you against the wall, a man or your partner has dragged you by the hair, has thrown something at you, has smacked you, anything, that is just the beginning. If he can do that, he can kill you. He can come back tomorrow and say, I'm sorry, it was a once-off thing. I don't know what got into me. This is not how I usually am. That is how he is. He's showing you his true colors, and you must believe them. You must run. And for me, from medical background as well, I understand the psyche behind someone who has so much anger and has the ability to cause such violence towards another human being. It means they have some kind of anger issue. They have something going on within themselves psychologically that they need to address, and they actually cannot control. So if they do something as small as push you in a fit of rage, drag you, grab you by the hand in a violent manner, trust me, that person has the potential to kill you. They can, and they most likely will. So if you're in that situation, if you know someone who's in that situation, just advise them, tell them they need to get out. You need to leave that person. That person has a problem, and they need to go get help for that problem. They are never going to change, and that thing is going to continuously come. It has nothing to do with whether they love you or not. It has nothing to do with how many things they buy you. It has nothing to do with how much they tell you that you mean the world to them and they beg you not to leave. It has nothing to do with that. The other day, I had a situation where we had patient come in. This was a child, almost a baby, who was shot because the father shot the mother, shot all the other family members, and then shot the children. And there's no words. It's heartbreaking to see things like that. And obviously it started somewhere. It started from a shove, it started from a smack, it started from him throwing something, and it ended with gunshots. So it always starts somewhere. And if you're in that situation, never play it like it's something small. You need to exaggerate your response. Even if he just shoved you, you need to leave. You need to get help, because sometimes it's hard for people to just leave. Sometimes you need someone to help you. And the first step to getting help is to tell someone. Keep telling people. Keep telling someone until you get someone who supports you, and someone that will help you to get out and to get to a safe place. Because sometimes you can tell some people, and especially in Africa, you can be told that, well, it's because you did something to anger him, or, well, that's what us women do, or you must stay for the children. If those are the responses you're getting, disregard them. Keep telling someone until you get someone that will help you. But it's up to you to make that bold decision to get out, because that person is not going to change. It has nothing to do with him loving you, and that person is most likely going to kill you and most likely going to kill or injure your children. We hear so many stories of men that kill their wives, kill their children, and kill themselves. And that is just a sad story all around for everyone. So don't ever find yourself in that situation, those statistics. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be scared that someone's going to judge you for being abused, because it's not your fault. It is never your fault for anyone to lay hands on you. There is nothing that you could possibly do that can cause someone to feel like they have the right to lay a hand on you. So you should never feel guilty. Don't feel bad. It is not your fault. You need to go and look for help. And wherever you are, whatever country you are, I know there's organizations everywhere that are willing to help women in abusive relationships and to get you to a safe place. If, you could probably, some of them are just as easily accessible as Google. If you're somewhere and you're in that situation and you don't know where to find help, you don't know where to find the organization, feel free to send me a message, a private message, and we will find an organization for you in your area, and you can get help and you can get out, because your life is bigger than this. Your life is more important than this. For people that are not in those situations, I suggest that you spread the word. Spread the word. Let people know this is important. We cannot afford to have women dying and, at the hands of the people that are supposed to love them. So if you're not one of those women, just educate, be involved, go find an organization to volunteer with. You've still got up until the 10th of December to do something, but we cannot sit back and watch our fellow ladies and girls be abused and killed, especially if you're in Africa. We need to play a more active role, because this is real and this is happening. And if you're a male, your voice is even bigger and stronger when you stand with the women and you educate men. You educate men about how violence is not the solution and violence is not the answer. So this is a bit of a long video, but I felt like it's something that we need to talk about, we need to share. We cannot just continue to ignore it as if it's not there. It's there, it's real, and it's happening. And we all, especially if you are African, we all need to take a very active and important role in educating people and trying to see how we can help people and we can get to a better place when it comes to this issue. So yeah, that's all I have for this week.